Hola, welcome back to the greenhouse. Today we are going to make a mushroom pendant. Now I've already gone through and pulled my stringer, and my stringer, you'll notice, is on a thicker handle. When you're doing this, it's really easy to snap the stringers off, so I have a stronger handle that it's attached to much better. You'll also notice that there is a little bit of a bulb at the end of my stringer. That is intentional. You'll find out why in a minute. So, mushroom pendants basically involve heating up the glass. I'm using a 20 mil rod to make these, so they'll be reasonably large. Heating up the glass, down about here, give or take. I'm going to marver it into a bit of a cone shape, heat it up a little bit more, and then we are going to take our stringer and we are going to push it down into the middle of that melted blob of glass at the end of the rod. When it runs out of the molten glass and gets to the harder glass below it, it will start to mushroom out, creating a mushroom cap. So let's get started. Decided to dig out my bench rollers for this. It really does help, trust me. So we're going to start heating up our rod here. And like I said, we marver it down to be kind of a cone shape. You may notice I actually have music playing again. Finally. Now, sadly I can't just listen to my phone or Pandora, but I did go and download a bunch of royalty-free music that's hosted by YouTube that I can use legally in all these videos. It's no Metallica, but I'm not going to get in trouble for using it. So once we've got it heated the way we want it, roughly, I'm going to start warming up the rod. Not too hot at all. By rod I mean stringer. Heat up the stringer. Not too hot. We don't actually really want it to glow like it just did. And then we take the stringer and we push it down into the middle of the rod. And we push hard. Be careful because you can easily break that stringer off that handle. And if you do, you can easily stab yourself with it. Which is even less pleasant than it sounds. It's kind of scary because it sounds incredibly unpleasant. I've never actually done it myself, but I've seen some horror pictures. Now, once we've got our mushroom, and there is a mushroom in there, see? Once we've got our mushroom, we take it back into the torch so that we can melt the glass around it until it kind of envelops the stem of the mushroom, because we created quite a space there. Sometimes it leaves bubbles on the stem of the mushroom, and sometimes those bubbles look really cool. So I'm not going to argue with having a few bubbles because they give interesting effects to the mushroom. As we're doing this, it helps to point kind of down too, because it helps to elongate your mushroom a little. After you pushed the mushroom, it's short and squat. Now we've got our fully encased mushroom, as you can hopefully see. And it gets a little longer as we let it droop down. And we're gonna let it basically completely cool here. Not completely, but enough so I don't see it glowing anymore. And we're gonna create a backing for it. Really should have pulled this out earlier. But I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm going to use a little Amazon knife. I kind of want it bigger for it, but a little bit. Amazon Night is a beautiful fumer. And it creates lots of nice color effects. So, mostly cooled off, mostly struck. So we decide which side is going to be the front. I like that. That's a nice facing. You heat up the back side. And we stick it in our frit. We don't even want a whole lot of frit. Just enough to create a background for, in this case I'm really just doing the bottom half. And we melt the frit in. Once the frit's melted in the way we want, we're going to let it cool off again to the point that it's not glowing anymore. And we can set this stuff aside. See, now it creates a mushroom with a background, which you can barely see in this video, I'm sure. And then we're going to take our rod, the one that we used with the point on it, and we're going to heat it up and we're going to cold seal it to the bottom of this mushroom. Cold seals are when you've only heated the punty, the rod that you're connecting to it. Well, the piece you're connecting it to does need to be warm for it to stick at all. It's cool enough that it's not actually bonding, which is very important because we're going to be able to snap it off later. So the nice thing about making pendants this way is we can actually create the pendant loop at the same time as we're taking it off the rod. So we're going to heat up right here, just above the mushroom cap with the small flame, so that we can stretch that out and create a pendant loop out of it. You don't want to be too close to the cap of the mushroom because it will distort the cap of the mushroom when you pull this out. Now there are sometimes that's actually useful, like if you're trying to make a Liberty cap type mushroom that's bell shaped anyway, but that's not really the effect I'm going for here. Now it takes quite a while for this smaller flame to really penetrate all the way through a 20mm rod, so be patient. Once we get there, we start slowly stretching it out. we've got something like this. We're going to heat down a little further. And we're going to pull our loop. Pull it up. Forward some. And hook it back around. Sadly, I didn't make it work well in one smooth motion there, but that's not really that important. We'll come back, fix it. So we stick it on, and once we've stuck it on, we're going to heat it so as to take the actual rod off. Or accidentally whack something and smack the cold seal off. That works too. Not really, you actually have to reattach the cold seal because that's not very helpful at all. But now you see how easily you can snap off a cold seal. So at least I got to demonstrate that too. Slowly work it out until you manage to completely separate it. I like to pull off a little excess glass here at this point. I don't really need all that. So we end up with this. We're going to go back and fix that loop. It's not done yet, but you can see how you have a pendant with a built-in single piece loop. So we're going to go back and smooth out down here where the loop is so that it's an even transition. And as it starts to close up, we can heat the whole loop up and use our reamer to make it a loop again. We're not done with that yet either. We're going to come back and actually smooth that loop out. But we need to get in there and make sure there are no angles whatsoever where the loop meets the body of the piece. Now, oh, not quite, hold on. So now, we have entirely smooth transitions, and it's just a matter of fixing the loop so that it doesn't stick out, it doesn't go off to one side. So, I'm going to go ahead and fix that. For a lot of this stuff, we can let gravity do a lot of the work for us. But gravity definitely needs help from time to time. Now, there we go. We now have a clean mushroom pendant with a built-in loop. So we let it cool off now. And we're going to take our ring pliers. Best $5 I ever spent in Harbor Freight. I'm going to smack the cold seal off. And so when you do that, it leaves a rough spot at the bottom where the cold seal came off. So we're going to go ahead and smooth that out too. Make absolutely certain you didn't leave yourself with a flat spot, because that just looks silly. And there you have it. Mushroom pendant with a built-in loop and a little bit of frit for a background. I think these look fantastic. And once my girlfriend gets a hold of this and turns it into an actual necklace, it will look great. Try it, play with it, make it your own. You do lots of nifty things with these. This is just the base technique. And once it's definitely not soupy at all anymore, we toss it in our kiln and we anneal it. Thank you for joining us.